Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for this Week 4 Sunday NFL slate. We're going to talk about 3 plays in this video. Took a look at the board, wanted to give you guys some props I like for Sunday. Obviously, there is a ton that's available, and there's a lot to choose from, but I try not to give too much away in these videos just because I do share additional plays that I like over on Patreon. We're going to talk about 3 picks I like that I'm going to be playing. As always, guys, we'll discuss these 3 plays. We will share why I like them. But before we do, make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos. If they do help you out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And also, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you have not checked out Prizepicks yet, you can sign up with my promo code Noah. Prizepicks will actually match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And for those of you that are new here, Prizepicks is a player prop based DFS site, so it is really simple. You're just taking the over or the under. You're taking more or less on a player's projection. They have a lot of projections posted for Sunday. I'm sure as we get closer to the start of the games on Sunday, they're going to add even more props. But you can see all that they offer. Take a look at all the props they have available on Prizepicks. You can mix and match sports. So if you like to dabble into other sports, college football, MLB, NBA, obviously that's starting up soon. Whatever it may be, you can mix and match sports on Prizepicks. You can make multi-sport entries. It's a lot of fun, and I definitely recommend you guys, should be playing over there if you're not already. So sign up with promo code Noah. Make sure to get that deposit bonus when you do sign up. But let's talk through the 3 plays I like for Sunday, guys. We got 3 fantasy score props that I'm liking, and the first one that we're going to talk about is going to be Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler, his fantasy score projection is currently sitting at 17. I'm taking the over here. I like him to have more than 17 fantasy points here in a really good matchup against the Texans. This is definitely the best matchup that Ekeler has had all season. When you look at Houston and when you look at where they rank against opposing running backs, last season they were one of the worst teams against running backs. They allowed, pretty sure, like top 5 in terms of rushing yards. I know they allowed a ton of fantasy points to running backs as well last season. And so far this season, nothing's really changed. So far this year, the Texans have actually allowed the most rushing yards to opposing running backs. They've given up 477 rushing yards to opposing running backs, and they're allowing the most fantasy points, 25 fantasy points per game to the RB position. So the matchup's really good. We know Ekeler is going to have a pretty big role in this Chargers offense. Last week was a little weird. He only got like 4 carries last week, but that was just a weird game script where the Chargers were playing from behind and they lost by 4 touchdowns against the Jaguars. That's obviously not something that really anyone expected. In a good matchup here against a pretty bad Texans team, you would think that the Chargers are going to be playing with a lead in this game. You would think Ekeler's going to get more than 4 carries. I would expect him to get probably anywhere from like 12 to 15 carries, and we know he's going to get really, really good usage in the passing game. I mean, so far this season, he's seen an average of 7 targets per game. Through 3 games, he has close to a 20% target share this year. And on Prizepicks, with their fantasy scoring being full PPR, if Ekeler catches like 5, 6, 7 balls, I mean, that's just, that's going to help to boost his floor and his ceiling in terms of fantasy scores because you are getting a full point per reception. I would think if the Chargers ever get like in any goal line situations, Ekeler's probably going to be the guy punching it in. So he has a lot of paths to going over this fantasy score. If they're playing with the lead, you could see him get a lot of carries. If they're playing from behind, he's going to get a ton of opportunity in the passing game. And it is worth noting that the Chargers will be without Keenan Allen this week. So without Keenan Allen, you can maybe see Ekeler even more involved in the passing game. I like a lot of his props today. I think he's going to have a really good game Sunday. You could take a look at some of his other props, what's available, but I think fantasy score is the one that I like the most just because he has a lot of ways to go over this one. He could get into the end zone. He could get a ton of receptions. He could be really efficient on the ground. In this matchup, I would think he would be. So that's going to be the first prop that I'm playing for today is over 17 fantasy score or, taking Austin Ekeler to have more than 17 fantasy score. Another fantasy score prop that I like is going to be Jamal Williams, and we're going to be taking him to have more than 15 fantasy score. Like this matchup a lot for Jamal Williams, and obviously Jamal Williams is benefiting this week without DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift has already been ruled out for the Lions. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown is out for Detroit as well. So without Amon-Ra and without DeAndre Swift, we could maybe see the Lions rely a little bit more on their running game here. They're going to be without 2 of their best weapons. And obviously without DeAndre Swift, you expect Jamal Williams to be the clear number 1 running back. So far this season, Jamal Williams, he's been pretty involved, even operating as a backup behind Swift. In week 1, Jamal Williams got 13 touches. Week 2, he got 13 touches again. And then last week, he actually got 22 touches. I'm pretty sure Swift did get injured last week and didn't return. But clearly, Jamal Williams is going to be involved. He's already been involved even when Swift has been active. Now, without Swift, I think it's very likely that you see close to 20 touches, if not more than 20 touches from Jamal Williams. He's going to be their goal line bat. So far this season, in any situations where they've been near the goal line, Jamal Williams is going to be the guy getting the ball. The Lions do have Craig Reynolds kind of as their backup running back, but I really don't think Craig Reynolds is going to have like a really big role. I expect Jamal Williams to get a lot of opportunity. I expect him to get a lot of touches. I think he will get some pass game usage as well. Dating back to when he was on the Packers, he was always a guy that could catch balls, and he was a really good pass catching running back. With the Lions, he hasn't really been as involved in the pass game, but maybe without Swift, obviously Swift is a guy that they use a lot in the passing game. Maybe without Swift, we see them throw the ball a little bit to Jamal Williams, but he's definitely going to get a lot of carries. He's going to get all the goal line work. He could get a few receptions as well. I think the volume in general is just what really makes this play so appealing. I expect probably 20-plus touches for Jamal Williams, and it's another really good matchup. Looking at the Seahawks so far this season, the Seahawks have allowed the second most rushing yards to opposing running backs, and they've allowed the sixth most fantasy points to running backs. So I think it's a spot where Williams should be able to have success. It's a really good game environment too. This Seahawks-Lions game, I believe, does have one of the highest totals on the slate, so it's expected to be a fairly high-scoring game. And I think 50 fantasy score is definitely doable here for Jamal Williams. I mean, he's been able to hit this even in games when Swift has played. Now without Swift, I think there's a very good shot he goes over this. He could be really efficient on the ground in a good matchup against a team that's struggled to stop the run. He could get, the volume could get him there alone, but if he finds his way into the end zone, he's almost certainly going to finish with more than 15 fantasy points. So that's the second prop that I like for today. And then the third and final prop that I'm going to be playing is going to be Greg Dortch. We're actually going to be taking Greg Dortch to have more than 9 fantasy points. And I also like taking him to have more than 42.5 receiving yards. I think that's a pretty good play as well. But the fantasy points is what I like the most, just because on Prizepicks, again, it is full PPR, so you're getting a point per reception. Plus, by some chance, if Greg Dortch catches a touchdown, which he has done so far this season, if he catches a touchdown, he's almost certainly going to finish with more than 9 fantasy points. But when you're looking at this Cardinals, their wide receiver core, they are banged up right now. So obviously, AJ Green's out. He's out for this week. Rondale Moore is questionable, and he got limited practices in all week, and it does seem like Rondale Moore is going to play, but Rondale Moore may be limited. Like, we don't know if he's really going to be full go, if he's going to be on a normal snap count. And then we saw actually Hollywood Brown popped up on the injury report, and he is questionable heading into Sunday. Now, I think Hollywood Brown's probably going to play, but right now, Greg Dortch is like the only healthy wide receiver that the Cardinals have. They got a lot of guys banged up. They're going to be missing AJ Green. They still do have Zach Ertz, but Greg Dortch has been really involved in this Cardinals offense so far. As you can see, he has gone over 9 fantasy points in all 3 of their games this season. Had 13.3 in week 1, 15.5 in week 2, and then last week he had 17 fantasy points. He's had a really good target share so far this year for the Cardinals. Like, he's been getting involved. He's been getting targets. Has just over a 17% target share. And so far this year, through their 3 games, I believe he's seen like an average of 6 or 7 targets per game. He had 9 targets in week 1. He had 4 targets in week 2, and then he had 10 targets last week. So he's seen 23 targets through 3 games. He's averaging over 7 targets per game so far with the Cardinals. The matchup against Carolina, I mean, I don't think it's like the best by any means, but when you're looking at the Cardinals wide receiver core and how banged up they are right now, Greg Dortch is going to be probably close to an every down wide receiver. And so far this season, he's been pretty much an every down wide receiver. He played on 91% of the snaps in week 1, 71% in week 2. Obviously, AJ Green did play in that game. And then last week, he played on 81% of the snaps. So he's basically been their wide receiver 2 behind Hollywood Brown. He's going to get the opportunity. He's going to get the targets. If he, 5 catches for 40 yards, I mean, that's 9 fantasy points, and I think that's more than doable here. And if he finds his way into the end zone, again, he's almost certainly going to finish with over 9 fantasy points. He's hit this in all 3 games this season with the Cardinals. His involvement just seems like it continues to grow. He's just getting more and more targets every week. He's getting really good playing time. Hollywood Brown's banged up right now. Rondale Moore's banged up. AJ Green's out. I mean, Greg Dortch is their last healthy wide receiver, so I really like this play, over 9 fantasy points for Greg Dortch. I also like his over on 42.5 receiving yards, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to play the over on 9 fantasy points. And these are the 3 plays that I'm liking for Sunday, guys. We're going to be taking Austin Eckler to have more than 17 fantasy points, Jamal Williams to have more than 15 fantasy points, and Greg Dortch to have more than 9 fantasy points. It's not been a great NFL season so far. I will admit that. We've definitely been struggling with our Prizepicks plays, but every day that I come on here and I give you plays, I always feel good about these plays. I'm always putting my own money behind these plays, and I do like these quite a bit for Sunday. So hopefully, guys, we can get a clean sweep here, can cash out and make a little bit of money on this Sunday slate. But if you guys, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure you always hit that like button. I do always appreciate the likes, guys. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button as well. We're going to be uploading Prizepicks videos all NFL season, at least 3 Prizepicks videos a week. We're going to cover the Monday night games, the Thursday night games, and we're going to cover the full Sunday slate each week. Also, we have NBA starting up in about 2 weeks, and NBA is definitely my favorite sport. It's the sport I've had the most success in, since I've started playing DFS. You guys are definitely going to be wanting to check out those Prizepicks videos for NBA once we start those up in a few weeks. So, yeah, definitely hit that subscribe button, guys. Also, check out Prizepicks. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, make sure to use promo code NOAH. Sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. And feel free to tell the picks I give out in this video. Feel free to take a look at all the other props that Prizepicks offers. One of the reasons I do like to play on Prizepicks, for one, they offer a ton of props in a ton of different categories. But they do also offer fantasy score projections. And fantasy score, you can't really bet that like on any sports books. I mean, sports books offer passing yards and rushing yards, but when you're looking at fantasy score, and I think there's definitely some edges to be had in the fantasy score projection. I'm pretty sure Prizepicks, they manually make their own fantasy score projection, whereas for the props for like passing yards, rushing yards, they're just pulling those from the sports books. So when you're looking at these fantasy score projections, there can definitely be some bad lines that get put out there. And I usually like to take a look at a lot of these. And obviously on Prizepicks, you can bet these. On sports books, you can't really bet fantasy scores. So definitely play on Prizepicks, guys. And make sure to sign up with that promo code NOAH. Get that deposit bonus when you do sign up. But best of luck this Sunday, guys. Thanks as always for watching these videos, for supporting the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we can all cash out on Sunday, make a little bit of money. But good luck, guys. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.